What's going on, guys? It's your boy JC Nerdy Treasures coming at you. Today we have Mr. Robert Breaks the YouTube and Dre's Geek Depot as we do our outside interference. We have been gone for quite a while and we are back to throw some wrestling in your face. And if you guys are going to jump on here, I will say hello. But I do want to, this brings up my chat for me. I'm hoping anyway. So, say hello, guys. Introduce yourselves to those people that haven't met you yet.
What is going on, everybody? You all know me by now. I'm the terror of the live stream.
Let's see. God, it's been forever and a day. But I think I remember this thing. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is your boy Dre. He's back. It's OSI, the brainchild of the click. And it's good to be back.
So, if you guys haven't known, OSI used to be a thing that we did quite frequently, like every week for a while, and for some reason it just vanished with some people. So we're bringing it back, and I want to talk wrestling each week, and I don't care if it's with these guys, if it's with other people. I'd rather be with my clique, but we're going to be talking some wrestling today. We're talking all forms of wrestling: NJPW, AEW, WWE. Sometimes maybe we'll throw a little bit of amateur wrestling in there. You never know.
Thumb wrestling too.
Thumb wrestling and arm wrestling there. I mean, we all got some thick arms, so you never know.
Don't forget Triple I.
So, I am going to pull up my chat. I guess it's not working again. It's so finicky. It says I have two people in here, so I don't care. So hello, whoever's watching and whoever watches later. We are going to get right down to it. So today we have several topics to go over, and I just want to jump right into them. And we're going to start off with since we haven't been back, since we have not talked to each other since AEW has arisen.
Yes.
How's it been for you? Like what's the change like for you?
Loving it. It is, I think it is the best alternative to WWE, and it truly is the rival for SmackDown. I mean, whether Vince or Triple H, I'll say Triple H because he owns NXT. If that was their idea and their intention to go head to head, I think that was a smart idea. But I think Cody and the Bucks are killing it. I mean, the tag belts giving it. I think they should have given it to the Lucha Bros. That's just my opinion. Not because I'm Hispanic.
SCU.
I think SCU. I like SCU. I think the addition of Scorpio Sky getting the strap I thought was really good. I like that the storylines are not as bad. Like WWE has a tendency to micromanage their storylines. I mean, you got rid of Bischoff recently, and with all the swapping of belts recently, I think that AEW is staying true. Granted, they got a little bit of heat, but not nearly as bad as the heat for months that WWE's gotten.
That's true. And I think to add on to that, I'm going to say that they've done great with being a wrestling company and more than entertainment. So I'm loving that. So, Robert, how are you feeling about AEW?
I mean, honestly, I haven't watched all that much of it, but I mean, I follow it. I just don't. I haven't had a chance to sit down. Haven't had a chance to sit down and actually watch it. But if AEW being around brings about what happened on SmackDown on Friday, I'm all for it.
Yeah, SmackDown on Friday was really good because if you guys missed it, NXT invaded, and Shayna Baszler whipped the dog crap out of both Bayley and Sasha, which was probably my favorite moment of SmackDown.
Nah, Ciampa coming out and going talking toe to toe with the Miz.
Hey man, anybody can go toe to toe with the Miz, but just to beat all three of those women with knees, she won the night for me.
I gotta admit, I mean, Robert, you said it best, bro. I think SmackDown, hands down, this week was by far the best SmackDown of 2019.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, just the main event alone was worth watching for 2 hours.
Oh hell yeah!
With Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan. That was a sick ass match.
Hell of a show too.
It was. Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan was a really good match. Probably stole the match for the year. So that was an awesome match.
You know what I will say though, on top of NXT kind of showing it, I did like Balor's little kind of jab this week against Bray Wyatt. Like, yeah, y'all, I came back to the black and gold because I laid down for the hottest new thing in a mask. I was like, oh, damn, they haven't let go of JoJo yet this year. Let's not have you go after him like that. Like,
hey,
man,
you know,
punches.
I mean, that was all pretty cool because Balor is going to bring back the Bullet Club, but Balor Club because they can't use the name. So he's looking. So it's looking good.
Yeah, I'll admit he is.
Now I am not partial to AEW. I am not partial to WWE. I am split between because I love both of them. I love the fact that WWE has a history with me, and I love that AEW is all about the wrestlers. And I just it's something that I admire about AEW. So that being said, AEW has become this overnight sensation. Who do you think it causes more problems for? Do you think it causes more problems for WWE, for AEW themselves rising so quickly? Do you think it causes problems for another company?
I don't know. I kind of sit on the fence with it because AEW is backed by Tony Khan. And Tony Khan's got money. Let's just lay that right there. He's got like more money than what was it? Ted Turner did for WCW. WWE's been having problems, let's be honest, for the last year, maybe two. NXT has been their saving grace. NXT has been what AEW is. And I think Balor said it best that NXT is Broadway where SmackDown and Raw are the movies. You can put all the glitz and glam and make it look pretty, but if you fail in Broadway, you look bad. And I think that NXT, the botches look bad, but they're still amateur guys. And I don't want to say amateur because these guys are good wrestlers that have put in 5, 10, 20 years in the business and are finally making it on the big screen. Now, AEW, I own 3 T-shirts. I'm going to the show on Wednesday. I watch BTE. I love the franchise, but I love the guys that are in there. And I think that their rise to prominence has one thing, like a restaurant. They're good in their first year, they can fail. And I want to see where it goes. They have their first pay-per-view this weekend. They got a lot of stuff going on. So let's take a look and we can hope,
Robert, what about you? Same question. Who do you think AEW is more harm to in their rise?
Themselves, to be honest. So far they've ridden that train of success, but one or two false moves and they can derail themselves. They're coming out, guns blazing, but you got to keep that firepower going over the long term in order to truly succeed. That's what happened with WCW. They came out kind of hot and heavy, and then just kind of petered out towards the end. If they don't watch themselves, they can wind up in that same boat.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. And what I'm thinking is my answer for this question was pretty simple. What's going on, Chase and Pops? How are you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. So I was thinking more on the lines that AEW is more of a damage to the other organizations, like you got Ring of Honor and NJPW and Impact Wrestling. I don't think they're going to be a damage to WWE, but I think because of these guys or because of AEW, you're going to start seeing those spotlights on those companies diminish.
Impact Wrestling is a damage to itself.
I
All
get
the talent is left.
yeah, but it's like Lucha Underground. We love Lucha Underground, but we love Lucha Underground and we want them to succeed. But I don't think they will because you got the Luchas on the Lucha Brothers on AEW,
And Ricochet was Prince Puma, and you gotta understand, Lucha Underground was America's foray into having AAA and CMLL in the U.S. and having American wrestlers like Swerve, like you had a whole bunch of American wrestlers come in and wrestle against the guys that they were wrestling in AAA. That's what Lucha Underground was. Now, when you look at Impact, John Morrison, Taya, all of them are jump ship. John Morrison signed a contract with WWE. That was last month.
yeah,
we don't know when he's debuting, but he's coming back to WWE, which means
where who he's gonna go for first, though.
He's going to go to Impact. Impact. He's going to go to NXT more than likely because that's what
I was just saying. He's gonna probably go after the Miz before anybody. So
yeah,
that would be great. That would actually. I hate to say it, Ciampa was right. That would make the Miz relevant again.
Chasing Pops. No, I have not watched NWA Power. I don't know about these guys.
I do.
what's going on, Joseph Grohl?
Awesome.
What's going on, Joseph Grohl? How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. So
Yeah, we're back.
But I agree that they're a damage to themselves. But I think that with AEW's rise, that it's going to take more superstars from those programs.
1 second, Robert. You in Georgia, you have to go. It's like $10 to get into the studio, but it's like a real long line. You get in there, they have like Colt Cabana, was it Nick Aldis? They had like, and it's old school.
Where is this?
Filmed like on that soundstage. It is no entrance music. They just come in and they cut promos. It is absolutely hysterical. I love it. It's free on YouTube.
I will definitely check it out. I will find out when they're taping again, and I'll go.
December 14th, I think, is their big pay-per-view, and they're doing at the studio.
Well, I'm gonna be in Disney World that day, so
lucky.
Yeah, you can
actually. I was gonna say that's my last day in Disney, so.
So let's keep going with the questions. And what do you guys think would help Thursday night or Friday night SmackDown in this situation? Should they keep going with the NXT reign, or what's your idea that would help SmackDown? Because last week they were in the 900,000 range for their ratings, which is horrible.
You want me to be honest? I mean, they got the hottest thing in the business right now. Balor said it. They got Bray Wyatt as their champion.
It's true.
I mean, you got the champion of champions right now, who is the hottest item seller, more than Roman Reigns. You have Strowman on the show. You actually have contention for the belt. You actually can move things around. I think this is that time for him to really own SmackDown as his brand. And I mean, I hate to say that it's Roman's yard, but that's me being honest right there.
Joseph Grohl, Los Luchas will be on in the future one. We're talking that over where we might do some on Fridays, and that he's off on those days. We might be able to talk to Papa and getting in on here. But I'm sorry you're working, and we are back. You can come watch us later if you would like. This is awesome. So, Robert, you had some ideas for SmackDown. Why don't you go throw out
all right. First things first, I would just keep trapping their main stars in airports. let NXT run. No, I mean honestly, push the future. Let Roman put over some of these younger guys and let them contend. I mean, you've got Roman, you have Daniel Bryan, you got a couple of other guys that are in that spot to put people over.
Carmella did.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what Daniel Bryan did with Adam Cole. I mean,
he did. No,
we all know Adam Cole from NJPW, but nobody else knows who Adam Cole is unless they watch NXT, which
or
is
if you watch PWG or Ring of Honor.
Yeah, or which is really a rough thing for WWE fans because they're looking at this guy and be like, "Who are you? Why are you champion?" And then he has this match with Daniel Bryan, blows it out of the water, and they're like, "Oh, that's why you're here."
Yep.
Yeah, Triple H pushed him over, man. That was NXT's takeover of SmackDown. I think that could run till you could run that right to Mania. Not to Mania, but you can at least run that to past Survivor Series.
I don't think it's just going to honestly, here's my thought is I don't think it's going to be just SmackDown. I think they're going to invade Raw too.
Because Raw
because that was Attitude Era stuff that worked.
If you listen to what Triple H said, he said Raw and SmackDown declared war, and now we're going to take it out on both of them.
Yep.
So, yes, I see that Vince signed a deal to keep going to Saudi Arabia until 2027. He extended the promotion. I don't want to talk about that.
No.
Nope.
My feelings on that are starting to be a little bit better because they at least gave the women's match a go-ahead, which Lacey Evans and Natalya did a wonderful job in that match.
A hell of a match.
They did. They did a really good job, and it was like the first time ever that they were able to let women perform in front of an audience. So bravo for that. So let's talk some AEW. I know we've been talking AEW quite a bit, but let's talk AEW. So who are some of those? I know it's a brand new wrestling, and when you first, my feeling with AEW, I don't know about you guys. Let me know if this is you. When I first started watching wrestling, it was wrestling. It was Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Greg the Hammer Valentine, all beating each other up. There was fake blood. You didn't really know they weren't fighting. It was real to you. AEW gives me that feeling. AEW, when Darby Allin goes to the top and casket drops onto the freaking apron, which is the hardest part of the ring, that is awesome. It gave me the Hardy feeling. Like that's what Hardy gave me when Darby Allin did that. And then you had all these other moments in AEW so far in their short 6 episodes that have trumped a year worth of WWE for me.
But to be honest, a season of high school wrestling is better than stuff that's been put out by the big boys this year. So I'm just saying. I mean, the 135 class of the Georgia State high school wrestling is better than SmackDown has been all year. I'm just saying.
I agree with you. You're right though, 100%. I mean, I get chills every time I watch AEW and AEW when I watch Dynamite and I watch Dark.
I haven't watched Dark yet. I've been watching Dynamite.
Dark is kind of like, it reminds me of the old Saturday morning WWE show where you'd watch on USA. They have a couple of matches where they would, like, it was that hybrid, like you get a couple of matches and it's like, hey, let's talk about what happened on Raw this week. When The Rock came out, let's go back to that. It's like, it's very much like Tony Schiavone does such a great job because he was the voice of WCW, and him and JR and Excalibur are such a great commentary team. I mean, they're not King.
That other guy that they got rid of with Excalibur and Jim Ross, because they did the first 2 episodes with 3 of them. That other guy was holding them back because once that guy left, JR and Excalibur clicked, and freaking beautiful.
JR is awesome when he cuts, like he actually talks and he gets the mic out. He gets on the mic and you hear him cutting these great, like, oh look, it's like he's still old school JR, like slobber knocker. I know he wants to say those things, but it's like he's really caring about the younger guys.
Buy the barbecue sauce.
What happened?
He does have his barbecue sauce.
I said buy the barbecue sauce.
Yeah, buy his barbecue sauce.
He still says that.
But it's like I don't know. It's like there's something in the air. Like he'll talk about Darby Allin, and he'll start talking like Darby Allin by far is an amazing young guy. But then he talks about like LAX, and he'll start talking about the Bucks, and he'll start talking about SCU and like Scorpio Sky. He's
Past
over
last week last Wednesday, he gave the best reference that I've ever heard anybody gave somebody the best comeuppance that I've ever heard. He said that Sammy Guevara looked exactly and act exactly like Eddie Guerrero, and that was amazing because when you don't think about it until you see it. And this kid, Sammy Guevara, he is Eddie Guerrero reborn.
See, Angel Garza could be him too. Like you got to look at both. Like Angel Garza's got the family lineage, and he's a hell of a great wrestler. But then you look at someone the caliber of like Sammy Guevara. The dude's in his wrestling infancy in a lot of ways, but he's with Jericho. He's with the Inner Circle. I gotta give it to him.
Joseph, Cole did amazing against Daniel Bryan. There's no question in that. I think that was probably the match of the year for SmackDown.
Hell yeah.
Which the match of the year for SmackDown can be trumped by AEW's mid-card.
I'm sorry. I can't wait to go to the show.
I love WWE, but their mid-card is trumping their main events. So
well, look at a guy like Walter. If you talk NXT UK, like I feel like NXT UK is now gone by the wayside. And I love NXT UK. Walter is fantastic. They were having Kushida and him. They had that build up on NXT. And then it's just kind of like, wah, wah. He has a stable. Why is Tyler Bate and the Bruiserweight in NXT in the US? You should be having those two guys running UK, and they should be.
The reason they're in the US is because they're good enough to be competing on that level, and they need those two in the US.
You got Kushida. Okay, I'm gonna take a pause for a second on this because I know we don't like talking about the touchy subjects, but please tell me you guys have been seeing the Twitter feed by Austin Miles, ACH. About the racist T-shirt.
All
right. So if you guys didn't hear about this shit, it is like absolutely crazy. So there was a T-shirt that says Austin Smiles, but it was
the black T-shirt with the
they were like a lot of people are thinking it's like he's starting this flame war with like WWE and like he's like do this for your culture. I'm gonna say this: if that's the hottest thing you guys got going. Buy this T-shirt from Hot Topic. Way cheaper than WWE and a lot better wrestling program.
See your T-shirt.
It is the Young Bucks.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd rather have like a Jack Hager T-shirt or Jake
Hager. Ain't happened yet. Planet Pizza or Pizza Planet.
Pizza Planet, baby.
Yeah, I got the button down for that.
Well, thank you for that, Joseph Girl.
What'd he say?
He said, you should have seen my reaction when you went live. I was jumping up and down saying yes, yes, yes.
Hell yeah.
Chasing Pops, I totally agree with you when you say AEW's tag division on a totally different level. That tag
Once again, to be fair, that for WWE to be on a level, you actually have to be on a level. They're not on one.
Damn.
They're still waiting. They're still waiting to board the plane.
Let me say this.
So
the
true.
Raw tag team division is a lot better. Is their main thing that's their division because you got the Street Profits, who I can compare to Private Party. They do just about the same moves. They've got a bulky one and a skinny one, and they
Prime Time
just the same. But
notice the way black tag teams are. You always have a big guy and the athletic guy. Not like we're not anybody there.
Well, Prime Time been on a mission.
Oh God, no! But Mabel was just big, and then Mo was medium big.
Then there was Oscar too.
You-
That was Men on a Mission. So you had Mabel, Mo, and Oscar, or Mabel, Oscar, and Mo.
Yeah, and Oscar was their manager.
Yeah, he was that little dude, little chubby.
He was
dude.
also good too.
Yeah. But I mean, the Raw tag team division is on a good level. It's higher than the rest of the WWE's tag team division. I wouldn't put it up there against like AEW's though.
Wait, you're saying that the Revival, the guys that have actually feuded with the Young Bucks on Twitter, the New Day, the Usos who are on SmackDown, those are legit tag teams with the War Raiders that are on Raw. I'm going to give them their due.
Viking Raiders are on
Viking
Raw.
Raiders.
Yeah, the
Viking
Viking
and Zack
Raiders,
Ryder are an amazing tag team. I don't care what anybody says.
we know who they really are. You know, Hanson and Rowe. Let's just call them what they are. Those two guys are like legit indie wrestlers for 15 years. Are you telling me that the Revival, a decent tag team on SmackDown, can't do better than the Raw tag division with Ziggler and Rude?
Now that was a good tag team though. They did good. They did good on matching them up.
Rude with a mop, and he'll do fine. Ziggler is the one that's the problem.
How can you not be a fan of Viking Raiders chasing pops?
Because their name changed 4 times in the span of 1 week.
That's true. But their wrestling style is amazing.
Yeah, they're the old Legion of Doom. Demolition.
I can see that.
It's hard hitting. They would be the equivalent of American Strong Style.
So
That's what I would call
American Strong Style, I like that.
it.
Another
Point
bold
that
move.
OSI. Nobody takes that. OSI claims that YouTube is our thing. So don't. We claim that
Another
first.
bold move that AEW has done, well, not just AEW, is Cody himself. He got rid of his father's name. He is no longer Cody Rhodes. He is Cody because he wants to make a name for himself at AEW. Is this a good decision? A bad decision? What's your opinions?
Robert, you go first on this one.
We already know who he is. I mean, you can drop Rhodes all you want. We already know who he is.
Yeah,
but again, you know, I can see wanting to jump out on his own and be his own man in the industry. So for me, I can respect him for that.
that is exactly, or this is coming. This wasn't even his own decision. This was coming from in an interview. Jim Ross said that he's the one that brought it up to Cody Rhodes to get rid of the Rhodes because it has too many ties in WWE. It also has too many ties with superstars in WWE, and you don't want to be that organization anymore.
I mean, I could agree with that level because I do know that when Cody wanted to go to New Japan, he had said he was going to be Cody Rhodes because that's what New Japan billed him before when Bullet Club was signing him. And Vince then got mad and then put that they slapped him with that cease and desist and said, no, you can't go out there as Rhodes. You won't collect the paycheck. And that's when he became Cody, the American Nightmare. And I think that was and that was in New Japan and Ring of Honor. I think that was by far his smartest move for himself career-wise because you are not the American dream. He is the antithesis of that because he went through hell. He went and wrestled he's pretty much wrestled for every company on the planet. He wrestled Ring of Honor, New Japan, Impact, WWE, and now AEW. And he's been a champion in every single one that he's been in. So the guy doesn't need to worry about the name being tied. I agree with that. But he is a hell of a talent, and he's got a great mind similar to Triple H.
All right, so here's another question that's coming from the poll that I got going on. So do you think AEW will last will last longer than most other companies, like not WWE per se, but you think they'll last longer than NJPW? Do you think they're going to last? Where's your ranking on them?
You can't look at you right now AEW. You can't compare them to like established companies like Dragon's Gate or Pro Wrestling Noah or like New Japan Pro Wrestling. I mean, because New Japan Pro Wrestling isn't even New Japan Pro Wrestling. New Japan Pro Wrestling like absorbed All Japan Pro Wrestling and then became New Japan. What I would say is if this is like WWF into WWE, absorbing WCW, ECW, I think AEW can outlast ECW. I think it'll definitely outlast WCW. But could it do a legacy like WWE? Time will tell. As long as the money doesn't come out the coffers of Khan, then yeah, I think that they could last forever.
I can see that if they make the money, if they make Khan's money, I can see them lasting. If they start costing them more than they're spending, I don't think it's gonna last.
Which is what Ted Turner did. He sold it.
So
money.
Another adventure that I think that AEW's got to one up on WWE. While Triple H is running NXT, Vince McMahon is still running Raw and SmackDown, and because of that, Vince McMahon's about to gear up in a few months, and which is a horrible time for him. And he is about to gear up for another adventure that is not wrestling related. Do you think that because he's putting so much time and effort into the XFL, that Vince McMahon is neglecting his responsibility on Raw and SmackDown?
No, I don't think so. I think that I think this is Triple H's way kind of saying like Robert was saying in our first off, folks, if y'all don't if you are a member in or just watching our Instagram feed, it's hysterical. Robert, I love you because you made me die. I almost pissed myself laughing so hard. I think this is Vince's kind of like swan song. I think this is him like 76 years old. Like, Triple H is kind of like, hey, your wife works for the government. Your daughter's got this. Shane left the company again. Look, I got this. Like, you go deal with XFL. I got NXT, SmackDown, and Raw. And I think that if he does it like that and leaves it alone, WWE and AEW could legitimately be what Triple H did, where they rolled that car up to like Bojangles, will say, and like been like, hey, we're coming out. I would love to see that.
Chasing Pops, I don't agree with that. I don't think that the Football League is going to be a huge disappointment. Here's why. Because Vince McMahon has stepped away from the everyday of this football company. Vince McMahon has put in charge somebody that's used to an everyday league, just like he actually took somebody that was next in line to be the commissioner in the NFL, and he made him the commissioner of the XFL and gave him the everyday today stuff. He's put a lot of money in those 8 cities. A lot of people are going to get promoted. He's on 3 freaking networks already for the XFL. So it's going to be crazy. I'm going to be watching.
It's gonna
the original.
It will flop. It will flop just like it did years ago.
I don't know, man, because let me say, as a football fan, and everybody knows I'm a football fan on here. As a football fan, I miss football like the day after the Super Bowl. And in the end of February, which is the next week after the Super Bowl, I'm down for it.
But they need to have marquee players to draw people in. They had that league that failed already this year. That had one really to market.
Did you see why they failed? Because they were doing a third-party backer, and that backer was like, "Yeah, this is too much for me." Vince McMahon's got
okay. Vince does not have nearly the money he used to have. See, the thing is, if we
Yeah,
were to go back 20 years ago, if we were to go back, Attitude Era Vince was willing to throw money at. He would take it, and if it stuck to the wall, it was good. That's when you had the Russo era. That's when you had the Bischoff era. That was when Vince was like, I don't care. Everything's being dumped into this. Now he has his hands in not one, but 5 different companies within his own. And he's looking to do a sixth one in NXT Japan. So right now, it's like, I'm like, Triple H, grab this, save WWE from him, let the XFL fail. And I'm not saying, because I'm a football fan too, but I'm realistic. XFL, the only reason Vince is doing this is because, let's be real, he's got the Fox and USA deal.
Hey, he's got an ESPN deal too.
Exactly. And that's the only reason that we're doing the XFL, and it may make it out of its first season. I'll be fair. It may make it out of its first season.
He had to be. So here's why XFL is back. If you guys don't know, Vince McMahon is a stubborn as a mule. You could ask any of his coworkers. He is stubborn. He is probably somebody that will say that he's stubborn to a fault. He's somebody that's never going to try. If he fails, he's going to do everything he can not to fail again. So what happened was he failed the first time. I put an idea in his head is, okay, I know what I have to do. I know what I don't want to do. Let's do it. And I bet you, if it fails again, 2 more years from now, there will be another XFL. So
it'll succeed. If he can get 3 players, it'll succeed. Antonio Brown, Johnny Manziel, and Terrell Owens.
They don't want them.
They need them.
They don't need them.
Headlines.
What's going on?
All right, fine.
Roman
Roman Reigns, Goldberg, and Brock Lesnar can all suit up in the XFL.
And if you guys
Get the Rock on the line too. Hell, let's get The Rock playing again, and Ron Simmons.
If you don't see, Papa Lucha's been in the chat, smack talking. We got Chosen Girl in the house.
Football
in the house.
It'll be the WWE
Ron
team.
Simmons too. He's around.
Exactly. Get him out of
Get Ron Simmons to play too.
They'll be the Connecticut.
Anyway,
they call them the shovels, the Connecticut shovels, or the Connecticut diggers, because they're gonna be like Cena.
They've actually got really cool names now. I like what they're doing.
They had cool names back then. The Calgary Hitmen. I liked that one.
Come on, man. All right. So let me go back to my list of questions. I'm trying to find what I was sent you guys about the topics. Do you see it at all?
I
did.
Or if you did, you must have. We have that meme war. I apologize.
I guess I deleted it. I don't know.
Folks, if you didn't know and you're a WWE fan, there are GIFs on Instagram that are perfect. Like, I wanted to say yowie wowie, and I found a GIF for it, and it was perfect because Robert, he had it right before me. It was a good one. Oh, man.
Are you going to have The Rock in Vegas, Stray?
What do you mean, The Rock in Vegas? What are you talking about?
No. The Rock will be in Miami.
Las Vegas playing.
Nah, he'll be in Miami. That's where he's from. That's where he played football at.
Yeah, they won't do that because they don't want no political stuff chasing.
Yeah, they would have The Rock rep and be like sponsoring areas like, and they got to be careful with Florida because Tony Khan's down there. And the Bucks play that. The Bucks have they're actually doing a pay-per-view down there. There's a lot. Like Tampa is now, like, if you guys didn't know, if you live in Florida, wrestling, that's like a wrestling hotspot. It used to be North Carolina, Virginia. Now it's moved to Florida. And Florida is really the hotspot to be at. because you have NXT right in Orlando, in Tampa, and in near Tallahassee. There's supposed to be the camps for AEW. So expect some major stuff, especially when WrestleMania next year is in Tampa.
Yeah, it is. And I really want to go, but I know that I won't have enough money to. We're kind of doing a big trip next year.
Yeah, my money. I'll be watching it for TV though.
Let's go ahead and go into, we got a couple minutes left. Let's go ahead and go into our superstar of the week. And we'll start with Mr. Robert Breaks of YouTube. Who do you think is the superstar of the week and why?
The Saudi MPs for pulling off all the superstars off the WWE, pulling them off the plane.
I
Real
agree.
MVP right there.
I'm not worthy.
Those are my MVPs for the week.
I can't. Like, how do I follow that? How do I follow that?
You can't.
I
You
can't.
can't follow that.
All right, Dre.
Oh God.
Game over.
Yeah. Shit. How do you follow that? Okay. If I were to say, if I look at AEW for Dynamite this week, I would say probably the best match on the show.
We'll get to match in a minute. What was the best?
The best wrestler from this week? Oh God. I hate to give it. I want to give it to Tommaso Ciampa.
Ciampa?
Yeah, he didn't.
That was a good match.
His match was marquee. I'll give it to him this week.
I will have to go with probably. Oh, who the hell was it? I'll go with Adam Cole. Adam Cole put on a hell of a show.
I could agree
I
with
was
that.
going to say somebody from AEW, but I was like, I blanked on their name.
That's
Sammy
one.
Guevara. I'll go with Sammy Guevara. He put on a hell of a show this week.
That match is awesome too.
It was. That's something we're going to talk about right now. So Sammy Guevara, like I said, Jim Ross gave him the biggest comeuppance by calling him the next Eddie Guerrero. He has the attitude, he has the style, he has the moves, and I think that was the best reference I can think of when I think of Sammy Guevara. And if you're not watching AEW, Wednesday nights on TNT is awesome. You could also watch the YouTube AEW Dark, so that's kind of cool too. Best match of the week, I'm gonna go with Dre. Let's go see who you got for best match of the week.
I've seen AEW Dark. But I'm gonna go with the AEW tag titles between SCU and the Lucha Brothers. Mind you, I think that match was fantastic up until the roll-up ending. I think it was a great match, but it should have been like a clean, like definitive. This one guy's in the ring with another guy, 1, 2, 3. But it still, I think, it had me glued to my seat.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I'm gonna watch this. I can't stop. So the Lucha Bros versus SCU.
Robert?
I already said mine. It is Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan.
Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan.
It was good.
Mine is unexpected this week. I am going with Hikaru Shida versus Shayna and Shayna, one of the two. Shayna was supposed to be in there as a jobber. In AEW, they were putting her in there as a jobber, which apparently there are no jobbers in the AEW because Shayna rocked it. Like that probably was one of the best high-flying women's matches I've seen in a while. So it was crazy. That is all we got. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all tuning into the return of OSI. Tell your friends to come and join us next Monday at 6:30 Central, and we will be back then. Dre, you guys, and Robert, you guys get to come back next Monday?
Of course.
I'll be here.
All right, so we will be back next Monday at 6:30 Central, and we're going to be talking more about AEW, WWE, anything wrestling. And thank you guys for watching. I do have my fantasy football roundup tomorrow. Tune in for that at 6:30 as well. So thank you guys for watching. As always, I gotta say it. Actually, let's go ahead and let y'all say your catch lines, and I will say mine last.
Buddy Christ, go ahead first.
Robert?
When in doubt, don't mess with the Saudi Arabian mounted police, because you would get pulled off the plane, and SmackDown will be a whole lot better for it.
Oh God, I'm crying. That's how funny that was. Oh God, I want to say stay geeky, but again, Robert,
that is my new catchphrase, by the way. That's gonna be a sticker. You know,
I want that sticker from my phone. I want to put that on my phone. So yes, you make that sticker, I'll buy it. Oh God, folks, you guys know it's as always stay geeky. But Robert Breaks the YouTube. I mean, it's hard to follow my brothers, but I don't want to follow because we walk together. That's what we do.
All right. And as always, I've got a couple of videos coming out. I've got another mystery box video coming out. Stay tuned for that. Fantasy Football Roundup is tomorrow, and we are breaking out a brand new live stream on Wednesday with Miss Guinevere, Lady Days, Lady Lindsay B, and Stephanie Meza, and we are going to be talking. It's going to be a video or a TV show book club type of deal, where we're going to review an episode of a TV show and let you guys know what we think about it. So we are going to be discussing Daybreak this week, which is a brand new TV show to Netflix. Really cool. You guys should go check that out. As always, I got to say it. Happy hunting because it's worth it. Peace out. And we're going to go on until I can end the stream. Yes, you're always late, Lindsay B.
I broke it.
Robert broke it like he does all the